We have some reader questions.
Oh, great.
We'll get to a couple of those. One was, have you ever used a line from one of your comedies in real life? You know, some very quotable shows.
Have I ever used like just that I couldn't think of something to say to somebody, so I just used a line?
Yeah.
Maybe when my brother and I are in a fight, I just say, "Hey, brother." I don't know.
Okay. Okay.
A line. I don't know if I have. I'd have to think about that. Good question, though.
Okay.
It'll come back to me.
What's the most useless talent that you have? We know
my
about
God,
all your many talents.
There's too many.
Yeah.
The most useless talent I have is I'm a great nail biter. No, I actually don't ever cut my nails. I bite them.
Yeah. It's no manicures for you.
That is the saddest thing that I just said that in an interview. What is the most useless talent I have?
Now I'm looking at your nails. They're very nice. You've
Thank you, Glenn.
You have a talent for.
Thank you, Glenn. Thank you. If anybody has any idea, do I have any useless talents?
No, well,
my friends over there.
Matt Walsh was in.
Oh yeah,
a couple of months ago.
I think he's in Paris right now shooting something. Yeah.
I wonder where Mike's going to end up in season 7. He's the one person who's not employed.
It kind of ended where he was teaching, I think.
Yeah, like I think high school or it was an adult education.
Yeah, it's like a community college. I think.
Yeah.
And so and all the writers have been writing this summer, and I don't want to know. I love the element of surprise, so I'm just excited to see what happens.
He had some thoughts for Sean Spicer, communication director, from one communications director to another.
Yeah.
Would you have any advice for Donald Trump's bagman?
Medicate.
Yeah.
What would I give advice? Maybe just I think Gary, because somebody also asked me once, what would Gary do in the administration? And I think I would be a hugger.
Yeah.
Like I think there's a lot of people that are so stoned and so detached. Maybe a good hug will knock it out of them.
A little love.
Yeah, just some affection.
Yeah. Everybody could use a hug.
Maybe his bagman, I think, should just grab him out of the blue and just hold it. Just hold on. And just hug out that anger.
Yeah. Well, that's what Gary would like to do with Selena,
Well, she'll turn around and pop him, but
he
tries.
Yeah, I'm not
sure. There was one scene last time where he had his hand over, they were in bed together because he was really sick. And he slowly put his hand over her and he thought in his head, this is it. This is the moment I've been dreaming of. But she was just fast asleep, and then once she woke up, she was out of there.
Right.
But there was a hint of maybe it was going to happen.
Just a hint.
I'm still, of course, trying to think of other useless talents. And I know I'm going to leave here today and go like, why didn't you mention the fact that your eyebrow's all twisted? But I can't think of one.
Is there a TV show that you're binge watching right now? Are you a binge watcher?
I will say I'm not much of a binge watcher.
Yeah.
Because I like the anticipation of the next episode coming. And also with dramas, if I binge, I'm just like, oh my God, it's too heavy.
Right.
And some dramas are so heavy, I'm like, I could be this depressed watching CNN. So
you're not going to sit down and
I'm not going to
10 episodes of The Handmaid's Tale.
Oh my God. Come on.
Yeah. Where would you be at the end of those 10 hours?
Crying and drunk. I cannot do that.
Right.
My wife can. She can detach. I'm just like, no. Like she used to love the show Homeland, and I couldn't watch a lot of it because I was like, guess what, guys? That's going on somewhere. Why are we watching this?
Yeah.
Anyways, back to your question. I think The Handmaid's Tale is very good. I can't binge that kind of stuff. I have to kind of...
You need a week's respite.
I need what do I binge? Trying to think, what have I... Well, I can't think of anything I've binge watched. Oh, I know what I'm doing.
The answer
I'm binge
is
watching
none of the above.
the season 4 of Arrested right now. I'm on season 6. just to kind of get back into the story. So that's what I'm binging right now.
Okay.
And so many things I missed. And
right.
actually, so many times when people have come up to me and like, oh, remember that time that this happened, I'm always like, I have no idea what you're talking about. But tell me more, because that sounds really funny.
Please.
But now I'm getting that, like, it's so intricate what he says. So that's what I'm binge watching now. Yeah.
If you could go back on any classic TV show and be cast in it,
Carol Burnett Show.
you'd just like to be one of those players.
That would be...
Like right in between Tim Conway and Harvey Korman.
And I would be worse than Harvey Korman when it comes to breaking. He would have me at everything he does, because Tim Conway, man, is just one of the funniest men, and I would love to, I could, and I always love watching the outtakes, because they have all these outtakes, and anytime, I don't know why more of that's not done, because just that moment when granted, you obviously can't do that in drama, because it takes you out, but in a comedy, to watch someone break on camera is so funny to me, and it's so real, and just like, and also the tension of trying to hold it in and then you can't hold it in, man, there needs to be more of that, I think.
What would we see in Veep outtakes?
They don't release them for some reason.
What would we see if we
just
did?
Me breaking all the time?
Yeah.
Literally.
So you're a breaker.
You're very unprofessional.
And what gets you the most?
Julia just constantly makes me laugh, and and the writing makes me laugh. Like what they give us to write, what they give us to say, and then hearing somebody else say it, I just think it's so funny. And I've said this before, but Julia sang to me once, because I was breaking on in a scene on camera, and she turned to me and she says, "Tony, you know you're not watching the show, you're in the show."
Right.
And I was like, but it's a funny show.
Yeah.
Let's give it that. It's a good one.
Gets Emmy nominations year after year.
I mean, but I don't know, it makes me laugh really hard.
Yeah.
But like a variety show where you see people, because you see it on SNL sometimes, but they really try hard not to. I think they get in trouble if they break, so that's why they don't break much. But there needs to be a variety show where you see people breaking, because that was the joy of Carol Burnett Show, in my opinion.
Yeah. I remember watching, seems like you would have the outtakes from Seinfeld and some special episodes, and I guess Michael Richards would get very upset if somebody broke.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Like, don't break.
Oh, I love that stuff.
Yeah.
But I watch that stuff on YouTube, and you know who has the best outtake reel is Bridesmaids. There's a great blooper reel of Bridesmaids that I have watched so many times, because Melissa McCarthy would just make people break over and over, and man, it's a joy to watch.
Yeah.
So good.
Last question. Do you remember your first acting job, professional?
Yeah. My first acting, when I got paid, was I was studying some acting in Virginia Beach, Virginia, and it was for the Virginia Pilot Ledger newspaper, and it was a commercial. And I remember I'm sitting on a bench acting quirky and dumb, and it was just like a local commercial, and I got paid for it, and I just could not believe it.
For the newspaper?
For the commercial for the newspaper.
And you're just sitting on a bench?
I was sitting on a bench doing something, I can't remember it, but that was my very first gig, and I was 24, and I was just like, I got paid for this, because I've mainly doing local theater and stuff, not getting paid, and that was very exciting.
Did you learn anything from this job that you took with you professionally?
Virginia, for that one?
Yeah.
Probably just shut my mouth, because I think I probably just couldn't stop talking, and I was just like, isn't this great? And like people behind the camera were just like, can we just get going? And then I think my next gig was I was playing the nutty professor at a water museum, and I would come out and do experiments for the kids and wear a crazy wig and be like, hey kids, da da da, and I was paid for that, and I was very excited.
Nice. Lab coat and everything.
Lab coat and everything, colored water to make it look like experiments.
Good.
But I do remember it was a theme park. It was a water museum, but people thought it was a water park, and they'd always come in bathing suits and be very disappointed. So I don't think they wanted to see me. So I was like, hey, I got some experiments. And they're like, where's the water slide? And I was like, sorry.
Yeah.
Got nothing for you.
It's like
but there's some sharks to pet over there if you want.
I'm not the Blues Clues guy. I'm not. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of disappointment.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Once again for coming in.
So fun.
It's been great.
I'm expecting a whole new color palette next time I come.
We'll work on that. Yeah. And for more of these conversations, please go to latimes.com. Thanks for watching.
Bye, 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 bye.